Hey garden friends, welcome back to Flower Patch. I'm going to take you on a quick tour around all my gardens today. I never did a November garden tour, and though it's in the process, there's stuff everywhere because I'm working on different things and I work as I can, and I'm just trying to beat the winter snows. I may not, and if everything's sitting out there, it comes spring, that's okay. I never sweat it. I want my garden to be a place to enjoy and not something that's just picture or video worthy. So that's my goal. And I go out and I enjoy it to get out of the house, even on the coldest days. Sometimes I come in here and work, and I love my greenhouse. And yeah, so let's take our tour of all the gardens on this November. I can't tell. Mid-November day. So it's a brisk November day, but it's time to do, even though this is halfway through November, a November garden tour. Of course, everything is fading away for winter, and that's to be expected, but you know, it has its own kind of beauty. My Roseanne geranium, that was all the way up here, nearly as tall as me. I'm going to prune it back soon. I might wait till spring to do that. My hydrangeas, I will have to bloom. I will have to prune them back before the first snows, because that really damages the canes. It's not light and fluffy stuff. It really crushes them, and that's just something I need to do with them. This is my Zinfandel, which I absolutely love. It has been here almost 5 years. It took it that long to really get going for me. And I have some Bobos in the back, and they just aren't doing well. So I guess I have to accept that panicle hydrangeas just don't do that great for me and do something different. But that's okay. That's all part of trial and error in the garden. So you can see I've been moving things around. I have these 2 obelisks here to help support roses and or the hydrangea. Starting a compost pile there. It's not the prettiest spot. I already had something there. If I cover that with chicken debris, it will compost down really quick. I've been trying to get things done. Life's been so crazy, but I'm sure that's the way for everybody. I'm just so thrilled that it hasn't snowed yet, so I can still get out here and do this. Oh, here's an update on my air layering of the Eden Rose here. So this is a root pod. I had it in this that wasn't working. This kept slipping. So I finally found them. I was going to originally do it with these root pods. Now I got these, I think on Amazon, but these are made in America, and they work great. I am loving how it fits together. So it was relatively inexpensive, and yeah, I think that's going to work now. So hopefully it will go ahead and root. When I took the cup off, it had the little white nodules on the area that I skinned, down to where I'm supposed to for air layering. I'll link that in the description box, that video. But yeah, it was making the nodules, which it makes before it makes the roots. So it looks promising, even though this is really not the ideal time for this. Even the native ferns are starting to turn golden. My debris from cleaning up, I need to come through with a wheelbarrow, but everything's going to sleep. I did get some oriental lilies, ordered oriental lilies, not oriental, Asiatic, because I know they do beautifully. This whole area at one time was just a mass of orange and red Asiatic lilies in the spring, and then all of a sudden they disappeared, and that's when I discovered gophers loved them. So they had spread, cross-pollinated, made different colors for me, and just came up everywhere. And it was so beautiful, and I was so sad when they did that. But I can plant them in big pots like I did my dahlias that I had planted in the ground in the pots. And that's what I did. Let me show you down here. With this pot down here, the Proven Winners pot, that's an echinacea in it to protect it from the gophers, because the gophers were really bad in eating. I'm thrilled with my Mystic Spires salvia. It's just doing beautifully. I'm hoping it overwinters. I don't know, you've probably watched my video if you've been around much on the zones. And when I did that, I thought, oh, I'm going to go on and put my zip code in and see what I am now, because a lot of people changed. Well, they say I'm a 6B now, from an 8A to a 6B. The lows for 6B is not anything we have ever seen. So it's totally inaccurate for me now. And I told you in that video too that from here all the way up to the ski resort is the same zip code. So they might have put in a station between there and here. And that's why they have this slated as a 6B. So that's why knowing yourself what your average low is in your specific garden, and not just walking along the porch, what it is on that map, because that map can be totally off and it doesn't take into account many, many other factors that are so important for growing a garden. So it is just a starting point for things, for getting information. But yep, everything's going to sleep and getting ready for the first snow. I will cut this clematis back. This is Belle of Walking, and it's been amazing all summer long. It bloomed constantly. It's never done that like it did this year. So I'm not sure what changed, but yeah, I'm happy for it to climb up over that arbor. Got a bunch of stuff planted in here. I picked up this rose. I think you probably saw the video. If you hadn't, it's coming up. Of my little shopping foray at Green Acres when I went to pick my husband up at the airport. And I found this, and I'm going to love it here. This is what I'm pretty sure this is where I'm planting it. And in the rose cottage garden. Look at this. I don't know if my Bosco Bell is going to be able to open, but look at all those buds that were on it. Yeah, we had heavy downpours yesterday, great rain. I didn't check my rain gauge yet to see how much we got, but yeah, it knocked a lot of pine needles and leaves down. But look over here, my rose here is already climbing up. I'm going to make sure this is supported well so that those don't get bent by any snow that comes. Over here too, I will pull them in towards the arbor. This is going to be so gorgeous this spring. Can you imagine just all the roses blooming? Yeah, these roses, even this clematis, look how well this clematis did. And I just planted it this spring. So, yeah, this is Albertine. Look how high it already is, all the way to the top. That's going to be amazing. Albertine is a rambler. I know it does well here because I've had it before. And, yeah, it blooms first in the spring before anything else does. So it's going to be impactful and just wonderful. Down here you can see all the pine needles, but there's some primroses. I just bought some more, and I'm going to put them in along here and clean this up so the primroses will shine and have their day in the sun, because they bloom for me very early in spring, even before the snow is completely melted back. But it's all doing good. So pretty for November. All the things were getting done. I was trying to get this bed back here done, all the plants pulled up, so I could put in another one of those. You see the rectangle raised bed? That's protected from the gophers. And all this debris that's in this container, I'm going to put in it to start filling it up. And that's how I fill my raised beds. And then I'll put chicken debris from the chicken pen in it and some compost. If I have to buy like potting soil or whatever to top it up, I will. I usually get the Diestel as a organic turkey ranch close by, and I buy their compost in bulk, and that usually does great. So it's a beautiful mess, So one last perspective. So here's the back of my greenhouse. There's been a lot of construction going on over here, so that's why there's a bunch of debris down there. Plus, it's been a landing area for a lot of stuff, but isn't that pretty? Looking back over in my little DIY greenhouse down there. And then this goes directly to my secret cottage garden right here. So with the sun coming through the trees, it's just so gorgeous and enjoyable. Yeah, I have some boxwoods here. You can see how pretty and green they stay when everything else is kind of fading. So that's kind of my intent with those. I have to say, as I trimmed back some of my petunias here, the boxwoods. Now this boxwood I started from a cutting, and then there's another one over there. They're filling in so nicely. And I wanted them to go all the way around. I don't want them necessarily to touch, but to go around, and I'll maybe create spheres with them or what have you. So there's something green in here. And there's one underneath all that down there. Yeah, and so I'm really pleased with how that's coming along. Now, I stuck these in the ground probably 3 years ago. So that's, you know, they're coming along. It's slow going. But I'm a slow gardener. I love starting things from cuttings, seeds, divisions, and you know, sometimes it starts small and just builds. And that's okay. And it's a great way to do it on a budget. So it didn't cost me a dime to start those boxwoods, whereas in the container they're $10 to $12 for a gallon size. And I'm all about saving money while enjoying being out in the garden. Plus, it's just so fun. For me, I've got a thing about propagating, and I'm always trying different methods. So yeah, even my iceberg rose, it's fading away. I trained it along the fence here. And I think that'll be pretty. It'll create a nice screen here where I don't have any lattice. So just a final look around. I got to get my trees moved. I'm thinking of moving them. Let me step over here and then I can turn around and show you where I'm thinking of moving them to. I'm thinking of moving them right here on each side of the bench. These little things I planted my tulips and what was the little things, the little scented ones, I can't remember. They're purple. I'll think of it later. But anyways, I got to move those. But I think that little trees on each side of the bench would be pretty for the winter. Yep. On along here, these are roses. These are vintage roses, and they will smother this whole lattice with little roses, and they are heavily scented, so it's just gorgeous. Oh yes, let's go on in the greenhouse and have a little chat. It's a little bit warmer in there. The breeze out here is a little nippy. Look at my sunflower though first. Isn't that cute? And it just looks so bright and sunny when everything else is just fading away. And everything's doing great in my DIY greenhouse. There's a little strip there that I still need to cover, but other than that, we are all good. So let's go on in the greenhouse. And I'll set you up in there. Door sticks. Oh, here's my other tripod. Okay. I had little things catching the rainwater because I have leaks. We have a whole tarp to put over this. Alrighty. Friends, that was my tour of my November garden. It's you know, obviously fading away, but I can see the potential so well for next season, and I'm looking forward to it. I did want to hop on here too and talk to you about my dahlias that I pulled up in a previous video. It just wasn't that long ago, and they were in containers, and I had them in the ground, and I was pulling them up to overwinter them in my basement. Well, one of them clearly had leafy gall, and I just thought, well, maybe it would be okay as long as I kept them in their pot, and then I put them in containers next year. I thought it was only soil-borne, the bacteria that causes that, and it wouldn't affect other plants. I was wrong. Totally wrong. Someone who knows more than me was discussing it, and that leafy gall can actually transfer to your roses. and cause problems using your tools. It could be through your cutting tools, through the air, they're not sure. But even that chance, I don't want to take it. So those dahlias I put in the basement, they're coming out of there and they're going in the trash. There is no way I'm going to risk that. For this bag of bulbs was maybe $12, and I got lots of enjoyment out of them. And yeah, this gall problem is across the board from many growers. It is not just certain ones. And I was reading about it really being a widespread problem. So it's no sense in picking on one particular grower or distributor than another. So that being said, I'm taking them out and I'm going to take them to the trash. And I was so glad I listened to that podcast. I will link the podcast in my description box below so that if you guys really want to listen to it, I have learned so many things from this podcast that I previously didn't know. It's very educational. It is not surface whatsoever. And like I said, I've learned a lot. Anyways, that's in the description box below. So I hope you enjoyed this short little tour around my gardens and where they're at right now. Everything is looking good. I have to put down a layer of mulch. I've got leaves I'm going to rake up, and I just put those on my soil, and that helps to keep the soil, it helps to feed it for next season. So I guess it's a soil treatment. I don't know. But the leaves are one of my main things. And no, I don't use cardboard for various reasons. But I don't put down cardboard. It's useless to me. Get the leaves thick enough that they do the job without the cardboard. And I don't risk getting anything harmful into my soil. So that's how I do that. So I need to go and start raking. It's been a beautiful, bright, sunny day, but very cold. So tomorrow's supposed to be a little bit warmer, but it's going to be noisier. I wanted to get this done today because there's no noise. And then, tomorrow I could do some more of the raking too, but I need to get out and move. I've been sitting too much. All right. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time when we'll be doing something different in the garden. All right. Bye.